kids. This is 8th grade math. We're going to go over, jump right into it. What is a rational number? So a rational number is any number that can be written as a fraction. And these include terminating decimals, integers, and repeating decimals. So let's break this down a little bit. Okay, so any number that can be written as a fraction. These include terminating decimals, integers, and repeating decimals. So terminating decimals are decimals that terminate, that end. Okay, so if you think of the Terminator, you're thinking of the end of the world. So terminating decimals, decimals that end, and we're going to extend that in zero. Okay. So, or that just end period, because it could be, these are examples. It can be 0.16, 0.75. You can always add a 0 at the end. They end, they don't continue. 1.34. These are all terminating decimals. Now, repeating decimals are decimals that repeat throughout the number. So these are what we would consider, they repeat, so they repeat. And these are our 0.666666, continue on. The way that we can write that when it's a repeating decimal is like this, and we put a line above, so that means that it repeats. So even if it was 0.314314314, the way we write that as a repeating decimal is 0.314 and a line above. That line above means that it repeats. So anytime you see a line above, you know that's a repeating decimal. Okay? And they also include integers. So integers are all your whole numbers. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and their opposites. So -1, -2, -3, and -4. So these are integers, and these can also be written as fractions. This can be 0 over 1, 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 3 over 1, 4 over 1, -1 over 1, -2 over 1, and so forth. Okay? So these are rational numbers. So an irrational number is any number that does not terminate or does not repeat. So for that, pi, you guys will see this when we go over geometry, if you haven't seen that already. We usually make it 3.14, but it's a number that goes on and on and on and on, and it never repeats. Okay, so this is a famous irrational number. So let's just make up a number. This would also be an irrational number. 5, 4, 6, 7, 8. So notice it does not repeat. It does not terminate. It just goes on and on and on. Okay, so that would be considered an irrational number. So this week, again, you guys have to know the difference between irrational numbers and rational numbers. You're also going to have to be able to put them in order, and you have to know your perfect squares. So we're going to go over perfect squares so that when we get to squares and ordering rational numbers, we'll know exactly how to do that. So our perfect squares would be considered the square root of 4, which equals 2, the square root of 9, which equals 3, Square root of 16 equals 4. 25, which equals 5. 36, which equals 6. 49 equals 7. 64, it equals 8. 81 equals 9. 100 equals 10. So I am definitely going to have you guys really study these perfect squares, because when we get into other numbers like, okay, where does, let's see, square root of 5 fall to on a number line? Once we get into numbers like that, you guys will know how to order it. For example, the square root of 5 will go in between 2 and 3. Okay, so that's why knowing your perfect squares are very, very important.